what would be your concluding thoughts on how these incidental and occasional skirmishes too can be prevented from taking place?
You see, Devyanshi, the most important aspect that's missing in India is the pride of being Indian. It is when I realized this uh, much later, you know, Devyanshi. I was also a boy who grew up abroad. I grew up in the Middle East. I come from Goa, so I have a Portuguese background to me in terms of ancestrally.
Mm.
Uh, but I was never brought up that way. I would like to have thought of myself that way. And when I was young, I would always consider myself to be a foreigner. I
Mhm.
hated everything about India. Whenever I would come to India, I would not even leave my shoes out at the door because I was afraid somebody would rob it. You know, that was my perception of India. Bombay was a land of thieves, and I couldn't trust anybody. And but that's how I was when I was young. So I would always say, I'm a foreigner. I'm not an Indian. I'm a foreigner. I'm not an Indian. And my granddad, my grandfather, when I was about 9 years of age, uh, happened to tell me very, very jovially that, son, it's all right for you to think you're a foreigner right now. It's okay. But one day, Mother India will call you, and then you will leave everything and you will give her your best. Of course, I laughed it out, and I told my granddad very jokingly that that will never happen. You would meet, God before I ever do that. and sadly, a few years later, he did move on, and I still never paid attention to what he said. But way back in 1999, uh, I don't know what happened. I had a choice to go abroad to Canada with the rest of my family and friends. I wanted to do that as well. I thought maybe I should apply. But something told me come back to India, and so in 2020, 2000, I came back to India, and late 1999, early 2000, I was back in India, and even then, I was not. I was getting to learn the ropes. I wasn't as nationalistic as I was. It was when God blessed me with having come in touch with the late Manohar Parrikar, uh, the former defense minister of India, who was then
Mhm.
the chief minister of Goa. And the amount of the conversations I had with him, I think the perspective of of India and why you should contribute to India as a citizen actually came from him. And I would, if I had to attribute other than my parents and my grandfather, the stirring of the nationalistic spirit in me would have to have been my mentor, the late Manohar Parrikar. And I used to ask my parents as well, so why don't we take a Portuguese passport, or, like others? And they would always tell me that you're an Indian. From the time I'm young, I've been told I'm an Indian. So no Portuguese passport or anything of that sort. And I don't know my caste till now because we were not brought up that way. I ask
That's good.
my mother what's my caste and my father what's my caste, and they'll say you're an Indian. So that's where it
That's
ends.
wonderful.
I don't go beyond that. So I think that's what's missing with the country. I think a lot of people, even in the Christian community, I know a lot of people in the Muslim community, a lot of people in the Hindu community who understand the purpose of being an Indian. It's not there largely, but it's there with a lot of people, and especially in the NRI crowd.
Yes.
You find a lot of patriotic Indians in the NRI Indian group simply because they're so still rooted through their motherland, to their roots, to that Vedic beliefs that they have, even though they are westernized. And I think that's really what India requires. India requires to run a campaign that talks about being proud of being an Indian, irrespective whether you're a Bengali or a Goan or a Maharashtrian or a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian. You are an Indian, and that's what matters, and that's really what India requires.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.